Hey guys, what's going on? It's Sam and welcome back to another video. I know it's been some time since my last haul. I had a wedding a couple weeks ago and I also got COVID last week, so kind of wrecked, but I'm feeling a lot better. So I figured it'd be a great time to pop out my haul for June. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the video. This is a bigger haul than I usually have just because it's been a little bit over a month and a half since my last haul. I'm excited to share all my pickups and share my thoughts about them. Okay, so starting off the haul, we picked up Chainsaw Man Volume 11, the final volume of Part 1. Just an amazing ending. This last volume is really just so chaotic. A lot of great action, a lot of great twists, and a pretty satisfying conclusion with enough of an open ending to leave room for another part. These 11 volumes, they're a quick pace, but a lot of great story, a lot of great action. And I highly recommend checking out Chainsaw Man, especially because now it's all in print. And it's relatively easy to pick up now. Glad to have this final volume in my collection. Sticking with the Fujimoto theme, I also picked up all of Fire Punch. And this is something that I had pre-ordered for a very long time. This was a really difficult series to get your hands on over the past couple of years. So really happy to have all this. I read all these volumes in like 2 days. They were a quick read and it was really entertaining. Not that much of a unique opinion. I don't like it as much as Chainsaw Man, but I really did enjoy it. A little bit darker, more grim than Chainsaw Man in some aspects. Very mature themes, especially early on. I don't know if I'm just not, smart enough to grasp my head around some of the themes and story of Fire Punch, but I felt like a lot of the social commentary went over my head with Fire Punch versus like Chainsaw Man. I was able to understand it a little bit more. But I still really enjoyed this series. I liked the ending a lot too. It was kind of weird, but that's par for the course with Fujimoto, but really great. If you like Chainsaw Man, I think this is a really fun read. And again, great action, great twists, and a fun ride. After that, I picked up Mashall Volumes 5 and Volume 6. I'm still really enjoying Mashall. Very similar humor to like a Mob Psycho or a One Punch Man, which fans of the channel know that is, those are two of my favorite series. I really love the humor. It almost always hits for me, and Mashall takes a lot of inspiration from One's sense of humor and style of humor, which I really love. And I also love the setting, the wizardry world, and I think Mashall is a really great character. I'm not as attached to the side characters, which I think is one of the weaknesses of Mashall, but I think Mash is enough of a fun character that it carries the story for me, and I'm enjoying what we're getting so far. And Volume 6 kind of starts with begins with a tournament arc, or opens up the possibility for a tournament arc, which I always love in shonen. So I'm excited to get into that with the next few volumes of Mashall. Still really enjoying this series and I'm going to continue to pick it up. Okay, so the next pickup is one that I had a ton of recommendations from on Twitter, actually. This was a shonen that I'd seen on my radar that I wasn't sure if it was just the newest shonen, that's why I was getting attention, or if people are actually really enjoying it. And that is Kaiju No. 8 Volumes 1 and Volume 2. I read these pretty quickly as well. They're quick reads, a lot of large art panels. I always enjoy, especially going between series that are more dialogue heavy, like another series that I read a lot of this month that I'll show in just a bit. But these were fun, quick reads. I definitely plan on picking up more of this. I don't know how much I love the series yet, but at least so far with what I've read, I like the main character. I like the concept of the kaijus and the main character's ability of being a kaiju while also being, part of the defense team. And these first two volumes really gripped my attention, and I thought they were well written and had great action. So really strong start for Kaiju No. 8, and I'm definitely excited to pick up more of it, as I enjoy these first two volumes a lot, and I would recommend it for you shonen fans out there. After that, I picked up another highly anticipated series, and that is Sakamoto Days Volumes 1 and Volume 2. And again, similar to Kaiju No. 8, I read these two very quickly. I wanted to get 2 volumes in at least before I started diving into it, so I picked up the first 2 and then I read it. And these were great volumes. Volume 1 ends on a great cliffhanger with them in the theme park. Definitely recommend getting at least 2 volumes if you're going to check it out, because you're going to want to read Volume 2 after reading the first one. But this is a really fun, fun journey for these first 2 volumes. Really over-the-top action. High-level synopsis is the main character is a convenience store owner, but he used to be this highly renowned Yakuza boss, a lethal killer, and he still has those skills, but now he's a family man who owns a convenience store, so kind of similar to the Way of the House Husband in that aspect, but this feels more plot driven, less episodic like Way the House Husband is, and this is honestly it's got a lot of comedy in it, but it feels more of like an action, and that's what's carrying the series versus Way the House Husband was just more of a comedy. Really another great shonen. I'm really enjoying some of these newer shonens that I've been picking up, and I'm excited to continue to read Sakamoto Days. This is really fun, and I can understand why so many people are loving it. So I definitely recommend this one as well. Okay, so next we have Record of Ragnarok Volume 2. I'm not sure if I showed this in my last haul. I don't think I did, but if I did, I apologize. Another really great heavy action series. This whole series is pretty much just a tournament arc of gods versus humans. Very simple synopsis. What carries this is the intensity of the battles, really just the epicness of the battles too. Seeing these gods duke it out with these humans that if you care much about Norse mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, you'll recognize these gods. It's just cool how creative the story is, putting these two beasts, giants against each other and seeing what would it look like if they fought? What would it look like if Genghis Khan fought Zeus? Something like that. It's creative in how the battles play out, and it's very, very entertaining. So if you like action, a great series, and I definitely recommend it. Okay, the next pickup that I got, and probably one of my biggest ones, is Kaguya-sama Love is War, volumes 1 through 22. I picked up every single volume of Love is War that's out so far, and not only did I pick it up, but I read it all. It's been my biggest read of this past month is Love is War, and I am a huge fan of this series now. There's 14 chapters left that need to be written, and I can't wait for them to come out so I can finish it, as I'm really loving it. What starts off as like a very comedy-focused episodic story, feels akin to like a sitcom like a Friends, or a very funny. The concept is these two characters have very strong feelings. They really like each other, but they both have this, skewed viewpoint of relationships, that the first one who admits they're in love is at a lower standpoint in the relationship, and the other person has the upper hand. And so that's kind of how the story starts off, with these like little mental battles, similar to like a Death Note, of these two characters who are in love and want the other to confess. And then as the story goes on, and you feel like that trope is getting played out, it's a very natural progression of the characters are starting to feel that too, and they kind of lower their defenses of what they would in the past not let slide. They start to let slide, like walking home together under an umbrella on a rainy day, or going to visit them at their house when one of them is sick. I'm kind of at a point in my manga collecting career where I'm not going to continue to tell people that push through the first 4 volumes and it gets really great. But I will say with Kaguya-sama, it is a very rewarding payoff if you go deep into the series and you get past the first 5-10 volumes, because the character development is fantastic in this series. You really feel an attachment to all the main characters. And there's really like 7-8 characters that you feel strongly towards as the series continues. And their relationships, their scenarios, even though they are overplayed and over the top for like comedic purposes, they're so well written and very well done. It almost takes you back to feeling like a kid, feeling like a high schooler again, or even just feeling like someone who's starting in a relationship. A lot of these scenarios, they are over the top, but they're so well written and so believable that you just feel very emotionally invested in not only Kaguya and Shirogane's relationships, but also the other characters like Ishigami and Chika. And what starts off as like a cheeky humor series of like a little mental warfare turns into a really deep, fleshed out, and beautifully written story for many characters. So if you can't tell already, I absolutely love these 22 volumes. It's going to end in 28 volumes, so it's not too long of a series, but it's got a good amount of length to get attached to the characters. And I highly, highly recommend it. After that, the next one that I picked up is Haikyuu, volumes 1 through 12. I'm missing a few, volumes 3 and 7. I'm waiting for those to ship out as they've been out of stock. But yes, Haikyuu, another one that's been on my radar since I first started getting into manga collecting. I read the first few volumes digitally after I'd just been hearing so many great things about the ending, and was very apprehensive to get into it, really because this is my first sports manga that I've dove into. So I was hesitant as far as how good could a series be based around sports, especially for 41 volumes, which is how long Haikyuu is. From what I've read so far, this is an outstanding series. I was greatly underestimating how engaging and intense the action of a sport can be in manga format, and it almost feels like it excels in manga versus any other format. The characters in Haikyuu are really great so far. I'm really loving them. Really what's keeping me attached, what's driving me, is how the character development intertwines with the action and these characters wanting to be great volleyball players. I'm loving this. I'm really hoping that I can collect it all by the end of this year, and I want to read it all because I'm really enjoying it. It'd be nice to finally read all of a sports manga. And then the last thing that I picked up is a box set, and that is the Dragon Ball Z complete box set. And I love how this one looks. I think there's a lot of heart and detail that went into this box set. The design, the back, even the top has a cool design with Goku and Frieza. And if you open it up, this is another thing, there's even more to it. There's little like chibi Dragon Ball characters of Goku and Piccolo. Really great manga. I know a lot of us grew up with it. I got this for a fantastic deal. I think like $100 on Amazon, so I had to pick it up. I read the manga for the first time a few years ago, and as I had grown up, I'd seen all the anime. And you kind of attribute Dragon Ball Z with having bad pacing just from like how the anime was and how drawn out fights were, but the pacing in the manga is really great, and I would highly encourage you, if you've only watched it growing up, to give Dragon Ball Z another read, because it is just a very well paced action series that keeps you engaged the whole way along. After rereading it, the Cell Saga is definitely, to me, one of my favorite shonen arcs of all time. And it makes me sad what happens to Gohan's character in the grand scheme of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super, because he was just so well written, and he had one of my favorite moments in shonen with the Cell Saga, with that battle. So highly recommend giving Dragon Ball Z a chance, especially if you're younger, you've never watched it. If you've never experienced the story, it's without a doubt worth it. And if you've only watched it, I would say give it a read too, because it's just a great manga. It has great pacing, and it's a fantastic story that's worth reliving again if it's been a while. I think it's still a really great deal on Amazon right now. I think it's still like $130 in the US, so great value at that price for like 26 volumes. So that's going to conclude it for my haul for this month. Like I said, it's a bigger one. I don't love having these huge hauls just because it feels like my backlog is even bigger, but I really got to work this last month and a half with reading. Like I said, I finished all Love is War and a lot of this stuff, so I don't feel too overwhelmed because I read most of it. There's some that I haven't read that I plan on reading, but loved what I picked up. I'm interested to hear what you guys been picking up. We got that first week of the Right Stuff birthday sale. I'm hoping that we get some more series on sale as the upcoming months. Specifically, I'm looking at You, Black Clover. That's a shonen that has been on my radar that I want to pick up, that I know a lot of people love, and I think it would look great on the shelves. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you and your support over these past couple months. I feel like I've seen a lot of growth for the channel, and I really appreciate it, and a lot of interaction. So I love talking to you guys in the comments, and I'm really grateful for y'all. So that's going to conclude it for the video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.